You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
In a Washington Post op-ed entitled The Ugly Lie About Black Voters and Pete Buttigieg, writer Jonathan Capehart reminds readers that African Americans have evolved on LGBTQ equality just like everyone else. According to the Pew Research Center, only 29% of blacks supported same-sex marriage in 2009. 10 years later, a majority, 51%, now does. Sure, that's lower than any other ethnic group, but not significantly so. Also citing that gap contributes to the intellectual laziness on this matter, especially while ignoring other relevant data points. So is black homophobia even a thing?
Absolutely, it's a thing. And I'm not, you can look at the Pew Research and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think in this poll, they only had a small number of black people that they polled for this. And
you're talking about the focus group.
Right, the focus group. What was it, 14 people?
Yeah, it was a very small sample.
What kind of results you going to get for 14 people? I mean, the two of us are going to disagree on something, right? So to say that, to use a pool of 14 people and to put this kind of research out, I think is just false and misleading.
Well, I think that there are a couple things going on. The first is that, it was a very small sample size, and that sample size does not speak for the entire African-American diaspora, right? This is just a small group of people. Does homophobia exist? In certain instances, yes, it does. Is it as widespread as it used to be? The numbers say it's not. But the second thing that occurs to me is that when it comes to politics, black people will vote for a three-headed alien if that three-headed alien stands for voting rights, affirmative action, and can help them get ahead and put this nonsense behind us of Trump. I mean, black people tend to vote in their interest. They do not know Pete Buttigieg, number one. Number two, what they know about him, they've heard about him kind of perhaps on the periphery. Number three, he really hasn't done a broad introduction of himself to black America. So, it's understandable that a small focus group would feel this way. But I think the larger point is that he has to introduce himself and demonstrate why people should vote for him. Not just the fact that he's a gay white man, but the fact that he is going to do something to improve their lives.
Absolutely. And with that, we actually have Roland back.
All right, folks, so we lost our signal here, but I'm back. Okay, let me deal with this issue here. How is Pete Buttigieg polling across the country? Low as hell. Okay, let's just be real clear, okay? Let's be real clear. There are black people who have run for school boards in America who have gotten more votes than Pete Buttigieg did. Right. You're trying to go from being the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, who has never gotten, let me just be clear. And again, I'm not hating on Pete Buttigieg. I'm stating facts. Pete Buttigieg has never gotten more than 8,000 votes in elected office. 8,000. So we're talking about being a small town mayor who wants to be president of the United States. Okay? White people don't know Pete Buttigieg. This ain't got jack to do with him being gay. Look, let's look at the polling numbers. Kamala Harris, she ain't gay. What is she polling at? Cory Booker, he ain't gay. What is he polling at?
Sure?
Julian Castro, he ain't gay. What the hell is he polling at?
Sure?
And so this is that BS game, and folks want to play because they want to say, oh, black people are more homophobic than white people. White folks go to church too. The bottom line is nobody knows this guy. And so you are not going to get the black vote if we don't know you. On this show, I have said, as Senator Kamala Harris and Senator Cory Booker made a mistake in not doing a full court split to black people in the last 3 years. You can't assume just because you're black and you're running for president, black people are going to vote for you. No. Black folks know Joe Biden more nationally, more than they know Senator Kamala Harris. Facts are facts. And so this is the silliness that we play. And black people need to say to white people, these white media reporters, you're not going to sit here and try to frame us this way. That's BS, Joseph. It's BS.
Well, it is, but it's also standard operating procedure, right? I mean, when has this not been the case? That there has been a candidate that has gotten a buzz or has been slightly different, but you go to black people and they either collectively shrug but because they don't know who this person is, or they gravitate to somebody who they do, and it's, I remember stories about Barack Obama, is he black enough for black people? Well, because they didn't know him. So I think that to your point about the fact that he hasn't introduced himself to America writ large, I think that plays a large role in here. And it's also very easy to vilify African Americans for things or project onto black people some things that even white people are feeling.
Look, I don't care what they got to say, Alicia. Pete Buttigieg knows he has an issue. And look, I've been talking to the Buttigieg campaign. I've had a conversation with him. He knows the issue here. And here's what happened here. The Buttigieg campaign said, hey, we didn't release this focus group. Somebody did. And so, again, this whole notion that – and here's the other piece. Here's the other piece. Let me just go ahead and say this. Black people in South Carolina are not the only black people who are voting. Okay, yes, it's a critical state. But how is he polling among black people in Maryland, in Georgia, in North Carolina? And so what we have to do is to tell people, you're not going to play this game with us, trying to saddle black folks as more homophobic than anybody else. The reality is, guess what? It was a whole bunch of white folks who didn't support same-sex marriage. Let's just be real, okay? As simple as that. So, Amisha, he knows he's got some damn work to do.
No, I think that that's absolutely correct. And I love the point that you made about Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, who also are not necessarily polling that strongly in a demographic that is their own. But I think that for Mayor Pete, there's something else here. As somebody who created the Douglas Plan, which I personally think is a great plan, he hasn't necessarily marketed and been able to campaign on it in the black community in the way that he should have. When you create a campaign initiative specific towards black people, economic development, educational infrastructure, housing supports, healthcare, you should have an infrastructure around how you're going to talk about that to black people. I think that one of the hardest things that his campaign is now facing is that you're not going to make it in this election or beat Trump unless you have black support. And they may be coming around to this ideology a little bit too late, but putting it off and saying that this is because black people don't support LGBTQ individuals is completely ridiculous, because I don't think that there is any more upset about or angst against LGBTQ community individuals in the black community than there is outside of the black community. There are religious sects and religious people of all races and demographics who may carry within themselves some idea of a lesser approach or a lesser appreciation for it. But I think that overall, it has to do with what policies will work for black people. Black people are going to vote for the policies that help move our community forward. And at the end of the day, if you're not able to transmit those, to have conversations about those, to appear that you are moving along with the black community to help move things forward and to help to bridge a lot of the gaps that we see in a lot of our economic situations across this country, you're going to have a hard time.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, it's the holiday season. This is when you think about spending time with family and friends. This is also when you count your blessings and support those less fortunate. This year, be a holiday hero and change someone's life forever. Right now, hundreds of thousands of Americans are sitting in jail without being convicted of a crime. Why? Because they lack the financial resources to pay their bail. Now, think about it. If you are arrested for any minor offense, you will be taken directly to jail. If you don't have bail money, you will stay there until a court date is scheduled. That could be days, weeks, or even months. Simply put, America's bail system is broken for people of color. Freedom should be free. That's why the Ebony Foundation has partnered with the Bail Project and is sponsoring the Home by the Holiday campaign. The Bail Project has helped bail out thousands of people over the years, and with your help, they plan to get 1,000 people out of jail by New Year's Day. And that, of course, will be a great holiday gift for many families. A donation from you today can change someone's life tomorrow. Now that you know the people of color represent upwards of 90% of the jail population across the country. Now, without bail, nearly 90% of those charged with misdemeanors pled guilty. Now, however, with paid bail, less than 2% receive the jail sentence. Sometimes justice needs just us. To join the fight, you can donate $25, $50 or more to help the Ebony Foundation bring our brothers and sisters home by the holiday. To donate, go to homebytheholiday.com. That's homebytheholiday.com. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.